And welcome into the Jerome McGinley Arena for Junior B Tier 1 action. It's the St. Albert Crude and the Mountain View Mavericks. The Crude coming in at 0-1 after their loss last night to the Beaumont Outlaws by a score of 12-8, and this is the season opener for the Mavericks. Both teams missing the playoffs a season ago. The Mavericks finishing at 8-12. A decent record for a team that finished at the bottom of the Central, and the Crude off a tough year, finishing 4-16 at the bottom of the North. And off the draw, it's going to be picked up and possessed by the Crude. As they come into the offensive zone, here's Regan Walker off the half wall. He gets the ball low, and that's brought up, swung up top as the Crude offense hits the floor. Wells, Kerr over to Fodchuk. Fodchuk is going to get harassed there on the far boards, and they're going to call a moving pick on Kerr, and it'll be Maverick ball. As Mountain View comes into the Crude zone, that's Myris on the left-hand side. Ball up top, swung over to the right-hand side, and that is Sutherland with it. He takes a sub shot. That's stopped. It'll be St. Albert ball as the Crude come back up over center. Fry in transition. He gets the ball over the half wall, swung over to Fodchuk. Fodchuk underneath, and that's a good stop there by Swan. Ball is going to be turned over here. St. Albert will regain possession. Sika with it, over to Fodchuk. Nice behind the back look, down low, and Nestor is stopped there by Swan. Couple of good saves here early by Swan. The Mavericks come back into the offensive zone, and it's going to be controlled here by Sutherland. Sutherland tried to hit a Maverick player swinging into the zone, but it's going to be picked back up as that ball went in behind him. He wasn't looking. Ball down into the near corner, and a sailing shot goes up over the bar, and it'll be Crude ball. 18 minutes to go here, first period, still scoreless. Crude will get pressed here a little bit. Wells is knocked away from the ball, and it's going to be picked up as Olds goes, or the Mountain View goes in transition. A little bit of a swim move there by Sigfusson. And a little bit of a drag move underneath his defender, and that goes into the midsection of Crude goaltender LeBlanc. And here comes St. Albert, right-hand side. He's doubled there. Kerr will gather the ball up top. He flips to Fodchuk. Fodchuk swings it over. And that shot's taken and handled by Swan. Ball swung over to Fodchuk. Fodchuk shoots into the stick of Swan. He handles that easily as Mountain View will transition up the floor. Ball will be controlled there, and Mountain View will gain possession. Ball up off of the shooter. Fry will harass his check, and that shot's taken. An outside sub shot, far side, as Bauming buries it. Low glove, far side. It's 1-0 Mountain View. And we want to thank you for joining us here on CROW LAX TV. We're here with you all season long as we cover not just the North this year, but we'll have plenty of action in the South Division as well. The Silver Tips and Shamrocks joining. And we have a whistle here off the draw. Some type of infraction. It's going to be Crude ball. I want to thank Vimy Ridge Academy for sponsoring the CROW LAX program here on YouTube at Vimy Lacrosse. Excellence is on the standard. Let Led by some of the province's most decorated and experienced instructors, they're dedicated to molding well-rounded student athletes. Vimy Lacrosse is the fusion of sport, academics, and personal growth. Unleash your potential with Vimy Lacrosse. Explore the academy by visiting vimyedmonton.ca/lacrosse. As Mountain View comes into the offensive zone, ball swung off the right side. Outside shot, and that goes through the goaltender, Lemiski. It's 2-0 Mountain View. That's definitely one Lemiski will want to have back, as it soaked right through his arm and into the back of the net. And coming off of a surprising and bitter loss last night, the Crude are obviously going to want to rebound here. And it's going to take some mental fortitude here, some mental strength as they get down here early. Mountain View Crude out shooting the Mountain View currently 6-4, but down 2-0 where it matters. And they're going to say face-off infraction on Mountain View. It'll be St. Albert ball. Yeah, a little pass out in front to Knowlton. That didn't connect. That was Bowie trying to hit Knowlton in front. Ball will go loose, and Knowlton will pick it back up. He gets the ball to Nestor. Ball swung up top to Wells, the rookie on the right side. Looks inside. That ball ended up over with Fodchuk. He wasn't able to grab it, and then the ball's picked up by Knowlton. Stick saved by Swan, and here is Mountain View in transition. And this team, led by longtime Red Deer Rampage coach Trey Christensen, will want to push in transition. That's something that you'll see from this team pretty consistently. They're going to want to play with speed and pace, and a lot of their offense is going to be generated through that. Ball sent in, stopped by Lemiski. Ball swung in behind the net, out in front, and that's stopped as the shot clock expires. And here are the Crude out in transition. Tyson Smith gets that over to Fry. Fry will wait for reinforcements. Ball over to the left side. Kerr, the big man, goes to work. He works the two-man game with Nestor. Swung over. And that's Sika. Over to Nestor, and that's stopped by Swan, and Nestor will get his own rebound. Nestor works it in behind the net. He'll flip. Sika, Fry, Kerr. Kerr is going to shoot, and that is just sailed into the midsection of goaltender Swan, as the Mavericks will come back over center. The ball will go loose here. That's a pretty quick 8-second count, as St. Albert will regain possession. Here's Fodchuk off the bench. Fodchuk, a little bit of a double there as he's met with a stiff check. Fodchuk swings it over to Fry. Fry back over to Fodchuk as that ball goes loose, and here comes Mountain View in transition. As big number 71, Barclay, tried to hit a guy off the bench, and that goes into the corner. Ball will go loose, and it's picked up by the Crude. They tried to hit Fodchuk again off the bench, and he tries to grab that off the glass. Tough play there, and Mountain View will end up with it. Crude need to start gaining better possessions here, as a little bit of a hold there goes uncalled. Now they get it, and Mountain View will go to the power play. So with 13:20 to go here in the first period, and Mountain View up 2, they'll go to the man advantage. We want to remind you to explore Fort Saskatchewan, discover a place where family fun meets opportunity, visit their historic downtown, scenic parks, and river valley. Work in a thriving community. Play where every moment is memorable. Visit Work and Play in Fort Saskatchewan. As they're now going to get a slashing call. Undisciplined penalty here by Mountain View, and they'll even it up. It'll be 4-on-4. Two teams here looking to get their first win of the season. Mountain View in their first game of the season. Crude coming in at 0-1. And it's critical 20-game schedule to get off to a good start. Obviously, you don't want to be starting 0-3, 0-4 type deal early on, and both of these teams, even though it's early in the season, big game to get in the win column. Here's Fodchuk on the far side. He's doubled and he's pushed into the crease as he holds his head a little bit. I don't know if he got hit in the head there or not. He trots off the floor a little banged up as Mountain View comes into the offensive zone. And that shot's taken from well out off of a Crude defender, and it'll be Mountain View ball. Oh, from a Crude perspective, it's important for them, I think, right now to start getting some offensive flow. The ball is staying a little bit too stagnant right now, and one or two guys are trying to drive into doubles. We'll see if they get the ball hopping a little bit more and get everyone involved as the ball gets sent well wide and up into the ceiling. It'll be St. Albert ball. It's Mountain View 2, St. Albert nothing here with 12-12 to go, first period. Ball is sent into the shoelaces of Nestor. Ball is going to be picked back up now by the Crude. Ball swung down low. Fry will come up off the half wall. Hesitant to shoot there. Gets it over to Nestor. He tries to go underneath, rolls back up. Knowlton shot off of a stick. It sends that stick flying. Ball is going to dribble back into the Mountain View zone, and it'll be Maverick ball. As Mountain View comes back over center with it. That's Sutherland. Pretty good set of mitts on the righty as he's sent into the corner here by a couple of checks. Now the ball comes back up top to Sigvason. Sigvason with it. He surveys. Ball back over to Sutherland, and Sutherland takes a long outside shot. That's handled by Lemiski as the Crude try to transition. Should point out the Crude starting goaltender Horn got hurt in warm-ups last night, didn't play, and it looks to be out of commission here again today, not even dressed. Here's Nolski up top. Sika with an outside shot, and I think every shot so far by the Crude has either been stick or chest. And now the Mavericks in, and a breakaway, and they score on a long pass by goaltender Swan, and they take a 3-0 lead. That goal scored by 83 Admonson, as on just their sixth shot of the game, the Mavericks bury. They go up 3-0. Now is the time you really got to reel it in if you're the Crude on that bench. Only 10 minutes gone, and you're down 3-0 off a tough loss last night. We'll see how they respond. And off the draw, it's going to be possessed by the Crude. Ball up top. Sika plays catch as the Crude now on a brief power play. As Wells gets hit by a bit of an exploding box there. Ball goes loose, and it's going to be picked up momentarily by the Mavericks. Now it goes loose again, and the Crude do a good job by doubling and regaining possession. Here's Wells. Up top, Sika. He shoots that well wide. He pulled that short side. The ball will go back over, and it'll be Maverick ball. the Chris Letendre Wellness Foundation, CROW LAX TV, and the RMLL Junior B Division are proud to be supporting the Chris Letendre Wellness Foundation and the Canadian Mental Health Association to implement their Talk Today program. In 2020, a beloved player of the game to many in the North Division, Chris Letendre died by suicide, age 25, while battling mental health issues. The Chris Letendre Wellness Foundation was formed in 2021 to preserve his memory and call the lacrosse community to action in support of mental health in the game of lacrosse and beyond. Donations can be made to edmonton.cmha.ca/talk-today-CLWF. You can also visit our social media channels for a direct link at CROW LAX TV on Instagram and X. And as the Mavericks come in on a breakaway, good stop there, and the Crude will come back over center. Fry with it off the half wall. He comes down low underneath, down off the crease now. He's hit there a couple of times. Ball comes up top, swung over to the left-hand side. Fodchuk looks inside, and he had the right idea there, trying to flip that inside to Kerr. He was met there by a couple of defenders. Ball went into the corner. They call interference as he lost it, and it'll be Crude ball. Kerr up top. Ball swung over. Penalty coming up here to the Mavericks. Fodchuk rips it into the midsection, and the Mavericks will go back to the box here. 8:20 to go first period. Mavericks 3, Crude nothing, but the Crude will go to the power here. So a big moment here for the Crude in this game, trying to reel it back in with only 8 minutes to go here, first period, and not on the score sheet yet. We'll see if their power play can get them a few good looks here. It'll be Sika up top, Fodchuk and Wells on the shooters, Nestor, and I believe that is Knowlton down low on the crease. Wells, Sika, Fodchuk, as they run something here. Inside, oh, they tried to go as Fry on the crease. They tried to hit Fry back door. Pass didn't get there, and the ball's going to be picked up. Up top to Wells, and that's stopped by Swan. Everything going 5-hole, which is not going to beat this goaltender right now, and into the belly. Crude shooting, leaving a lot to be desired so far, as the ball is going to go back over, and it'll be Crude ball. Here's Kerr. Sika, who the Crude acquired right before the season started from the Outlaws. Wells, Sika, Fodchuk, Kerr. As the ball works its way around the perimeter. Up top, they start to run. Some motion, Wells inside, and that gets picked off. And here comes the Mavericks up over center. Ball gets knocked loose, and that'll roll down the floor right into the stick of Crude goaltender Lemiski. As the Crude power play goes to work, 30 seconds left on the man advantage. Ball down on the skip to the diagonal, down to the crease up top. Kerr shoots that, and that goes through the goaltender wide. Swung, Fodchuk. Sealed by Kerr, and that shot. Rebound, and that's stopped by Swan. Ball goes through the crease. They call the Crude for stepping inside. Cylinder violation, and it'll be Mountain View ball. As Mountain View swings the ball into the near corner. As they kill this one off, and they'll go back to even strength. Tarnak out of the box. Ball's picked up in behind the Crude net. And they'll transition. Sika. And the Crudes jog onto the floor here. Might be something to look for. The Crude feel like they're playing this game a little bit of a slower pace right now than Mountain View. See if they could pick up their energy and pace here and maybe try to get some looks in transition as their offense is struggling right now. Ball goes loose. Picked back up by the Mavericks, and they'll come up over center. As Benko with it on the left side. That ball swung over. Back to Benko. He shoots that. That gets blocked. And here go the Crude. In transition. In, and that shot gets sent wide by Bowie. And the Mavericks will regain possession. 5:12 to go, first period. Mavericks 3, Crude nothing. Here from the Jerome McGinley Arena. I want to thank you for joining us here on CROW LAX TV. You can get at me on Twitter at MJ_9 or on X as it's been rebranded. Instagram m.jomha. As the ball goes into the corner and it's picked up by the Crude on the shot clock violation. Ball into the far corner. Fodchuk surveys and he takes a running jump shot. That's stopped. And the Mavericks will come up over center. Another breakaway. You've seen that a few times here. The Mavericks in and they bury it. Just by the glove of Lemiski. It's 4-0. And as I said earlier, that's something that you can't get burned by the Mavericks. They're going to want to run. They're going to want to get out and transition, and that's a characteristic of Trey Christensen coach teams. And the Crude not responding to that at all so far in this first period. I believe 2 or 3 of the 4 goals off of transition breakaways, and another 2 or 3 breakaway opportunities have been relinquished by the Crude. That high guy needs to get back as the Mavericks come into the offensive zone. As Lodermeyer got that down low. Now the ball is going to be picked off momentarily. Now it's lost again, and Lodermeyer will gather it back up. Ball swung over to the right side. Bauming tried to send it over into the corner. That gets picked up and brought up by the Crude. Kerr. With it up top, gets it over to Sika. Sika swings it over. Fodchuk, Sika. A little bit of a pick set there by Wells, and the ball is fought off by Swan. As the ball is brought back up by Mountain View. Here is Barclay with it on the left side. Ball up top. Ball swung back to Barclay, and he sends a sidearm wide. Ball is picked up off the Lucy and sent wide. They say it hit a piece of Lemiski, so it'll be a shot clock re-up, but now the Crude will come back over center with it. And he's gonna, that's Dzwanka, and he's met by heavy traffic. They double it. He gets away just in the nick of time, and now Knowlton off the right side is gonna sail that pass into the glass. Ball's gonna be brought up in transition again by the Mavericks, and Knowlton goes for a tumble there as he tried to perform a stick check. Here's the Mavericks with it. Ball is going to be sent over the left side. It's going to go loose again. Sloppy sequence here by both teams, and eventually it'll be a shot clock violation. Here comes Fry into the offensive zone. He'll stop up. 2:10 to go, first period. Mavericks 4, Crude nothing, as they are currently being shut out at home here. And now Fry will spin up top and go far side. They get on the board. The Mavericks lead now narrowed down to a 4-1 count. As the refs now call for a wipe of the floor. Want to thank you here for joining us here on CROW LAX TV. Be here with you all season long. Opening weekend here of the RMLL Tier 1 Junior B Division. Crude coming in at 0-1 after a loss last night to division rival, the Beaumont Outlaws, who went to 1-0, and the Mountain View Mavericks playing their first of the season here on the road in St. Albert. They, of course, of the Central Division, with the Calgary Chill, Red Deer Rampage, and Rocky View Silvertips. Those not familiar with the lay of the land and the playoff format, each division sends its top 3 into the playoffs. First place gets a bye, and second and third play off in a best of 3, and fourth is eliminated in each division. Aside from the East, where there's only 3 teams residing, and third misses, and the top 2 play off, with the winners going to the Larry Bishop Memorial, the provincial championship, and the winner of that going to the Founders Cup, the National Junior B Championship, as the Crude come into the offensive zone. Ball is going to be sent errantly over to the far side, and it's going to be picked up again. Transition opportunity, 2-on-1. The Mavericks in, and that's stopped by Lemiski. And it's going to be brought into the offensive zone. Up top, Kurt, the big lefty, he'll swing it over to Wells, and that's going to go into the near boards, and Olds is going to look to run again. Lead pass just over the head of, I believe that's May. Back out in front, and that's off the bar. Caught just the outside, I think it caught the outside of the post there. And the ball is going to be sent back up to the right shooter, who tried to feed it inside. That's going to dribble into Lemiski, and it'll be St. Albert ball as Tyson Smith pushes it up the floor. Here is Fry, Cold Lake product, up top. Wells wide open inside. Ball doesn't get to him. Fodchuk elects to shoot that off of the foot of Swan. Sika swings it to Fodchuk. Cutter to Fry, and that, they say, did not catch a piece of Swan, as the Crude look like they're trying to call it timeout. They're granted it. Crude bench not happy with the delay on the Crude bench not happy with the delay of time it took to grant them that timeout. But nevertheless, with 16.6 seconds left to go in the first period, St. Albert will draw up something here and try to get a good look on net before the period expires. As head coach Garen Schmerman tries to direct traffic here. The Crude will pull their goalie and go 6-on-5. Look for somebody to be sent into the middle. And a couple of seals to be set, and they'll probably try to look for something backdoor off of the crease, as Sika will start with it up high. And they'll wait here, likely to about 8 seconds, and then they'll start as the ball gets moved up across the top. Back to Sika. Here's the seal by Kerr. He slips inside. Then the shot comes by Wells. That's fought off by Swan, and we'll go into the intermission with the score. The Mountain View Mavericks 4 and the St. Albert Crude 1. You're watching a Junior B RMLL Tier 1 action here on CROW LAX TV. We'll be back here with you in just under 10 minutes' time. Welcome back inside the Jerome McGinley Arena for Junior B Tier 1 action. After one period of play, it's the the Mountain View Mavericks leading the St. Albert Crude by a count of 4-1. Shots after one period of play, St. Albert up above the Mavericks 21-13. And off the draw, it'll be Walker with it. And the Crude are going to have to bring a lot more energy than they did in that first frame. Ball up top, Fodchuk. Fodchuk shoots it off of the shoulder of Swan. Ball will go into the corner. It's going to be picked up by the Mavericks. Lead pass, breakaway. That was Admonson on the look. And now we crease dive, and they're going to wipe that out as the Maverick bench not impressed with that call. Looked pretty clean. I don't blame them. But that'll be wiped out. It'll be Crude ball. And Kerr takes that inside. That's going to be picked up. Ball into the corner. Swung. Right side. Ball's going to go into the corner again. Picked up by the Mavericks. As the ball gets sailed down the floor and picked off by the Crude. Ball swung out in front of the net, cross crease pass, and that was Wells looking for a quick stick, and he's decked in behind the net on the loose ball, and the Mavericks will come out with it. Sigfusson spins and shoots. That will go into the corner, and he picks that back up. Ball sets up top. Sutherland swings that. Been really impressed with the handles on Sutherland. I like how he looks, surveys the floor, feeds. Looks like a quality distributor of the ball. Really stood out to me on this Mavericks team as he shoots that wide on the far side. And that'll bounce back down the floor. It'll be over and back. It'll be St. Albert ball. 4-1. The Mavericks leading the Crude here from St. Albert. Fodchuk rolls off a check. One hands that over to Nestor, who swung it back over to the right side. And that shot was taken low by Bowie and stopped. Transition again, 3-on-2. And Mavericks will slow up now. Big hit there in front of the net. Shot taken, handled there by Lemiski. Now Nestor, Fry. They're going to push it here. Inside, Bowie met by a couple of checks right before he could get a shot off. Ball into the corner, picked up by Fry. Kerr swings it over to Sika, long outside shot. That goes wide. They'll call it back over, or it'll be Maverick ball. Near corner. Ball up, half wall. Sutherland up top. To Bauming, back to Sutherland. Sutherland, the righty, gets knocked down there by a hard check. Interference, right? I mean, I don't know. Yeah. There's a lot of cross-checking going on that loose ball. There's a delayed penalty coming up anyway to the Crude. That's Nick Apillo, the rookie, out of the park, and the Mavericks will go to the power play. .16:44 to go here, second period. As the Crude are, it looks like maybe they're sending another to serve a bench penalty. Yeah, it looks like they're sending Tyson Smith over to serve a bench penalty. So it'll be a 5-on-3 for the Mavericks. So the Mavericks will go to work here. 5-on-3, they'll hang a guy up top as they should here. And go de facto 4-on-3. It just opens up more floor, basically, for those of you at home. And the ball goes off of the post on the shot on the crease, and it'll be picked back up. Mavericks inside, as that was attempted to be tucked short side. There was another post there, and now a 5-hole shot stopped pretty easily by Lemiski. And now Wedman will come up over center, and he's low bridge there by a Maverick defender. Wow. Bit of a submarine check there. And the Mavericks will regain possession. Ball's worked down low. Cross crease pass that hit something. Looked like maybe a stick or a piece of the goaltender, but it slowed down and dribbled into the crease, and it'll be Crude ball. Now a suicide pass. Wells evaded that, but then slipped on the floor and had no choice but to sail it into the Maverick zone. Here they come. And the ball will be stopped up there. And it looked like a shot could have been taken there by Sutherland. He elected to stop up, and now he tried to tuck short side. That's stopped by Lemiski. Ball. Tried a diagonal skip pass through the box there. That was knocked down by a good Crude stick. And Sutherland tried to go short side, stopped there by Lemiski again. Cross crease pass doesn't connect. Ball's gonna go loose. Dzwanka loses that, knocks down a Mountain View player, and now long floor breakaway pass, and that was missed by Smith out of the box. And another Maverick opportunity. They keep trying to go short side high, and it's being rejected by Lemiski, and now another penalty is being taken by the Crude. And they'll either call this a check from behind or a cross check. We'll see. Well, they're going to say a charge. So with 14:24 to go, and having just killed off a pair of penalties, the Crude will go back to the man short, down a few. Here up top, ball will be moved down low. Ball swung and blocked by the top of the Crude box. And a hard check there in the corner. And now here's another penalty coming up to the Crude, who are not pleased with the call. And this looks like, I don't know what they're gonna deem this, maybe a cross check. Yeah, that's what they say, cross checking. As the fans have plenty to say about that. So with 13:56 to go, second period, Mavericks 4, Crude 1. They'll have another 4-on-3 or 5-on-3. Looking to extend their lead. Sutherland and Bauming operate off the right side. Cross crease pass. That goes up off the floor and into the mesh, and it'll be Crude ball. And here's Wedman, one-handed, splits a couple of defenders. Breakaway pass, and that's not connected on, but Wedman gets it off of the end boards out in front, and that's stopped. And here comes Admonson. Admonson in transition, and that pass is sent wide of his target. Now it's picked back up, and opportunity out in front. Wasn't connected on, but they're gonna say some type of infraction. It would be Mountain View ball. Really sloppy action here right now. Ball's not being connected on, passes errantly going awry, and here's Nicapillo in transition, and that goes off of Swan's hand or arm, and it'll be Crude ball. Here's Fodchuk. He skips up top. Swings the ball over. That was Sika trying to connect with Kerr back on the left side. He picks it back up. Fodchuk running shot. That's stopped. And here comes Barclay for the Mountain View Mavericks. Another odd man rush here for the Mavericks, and they can't connect on that pass. Ball is up top with Steele. Ball is hung onto what felt like an eternity right out in front of the net. Finally, the shot was taken by Sigfusson. Ball stopped by Lemiski, who's made a lot of saves here in the second period, keeping the Crude in it. Mountain View with extended 5-on-3s here, unable to connect. We'll see if that's a turning point here. As the ball is caught by Kerr and swung over the far boards as the Crude get back to even strength. Shot taken, stopped by Swan, and the ball is going to go into the far corner. It's battled there for, and now a Mountain View player is going to be roughed up a bit here, and he's going to come out of it. And now the ball is turned back over. Avery Stenson with it. And the ball is going to be dropped, and then a Mountain View player stumbles, and the Crude will be able to pick it back up. Here's Kerr up top, right into the breadbasket of Swan. Ball of the right side. Spin move by Sika. He's inside. Another 5-hole shot. That's easily handled by Swan, and the Mavericks will transition. Admonson takes his defender one-on-one. That's Fodchuk back, the lefty, as he played some reverse transition D. The ball will come back over center, and it'll be Crude ball. We want to thank Vimy Ridge Academy at Vimy Lacrosse. Excellence is the standard. Led by some of the province's most decorated and experienced instructors, they are dedicated to molding a well-rounded student athletes. Vimy Lacrosse is the fusion of sport, academics, and personal growth. Unleash your potential with Vimy Lacrosse. Now in transition, Kerr off the bench, Fry, and he can't grab that. And now Mountain View in transition. They're going to call off-ball interference, and the Crude will regain possession. We also want to thank City of Fort Saskatchewan, explore Fort Saskatchewan, discover a place where family meets opportunity, visit their historic downtown, scenic parks, and River Valley. Work in a thriving community, play where every moment is memorable. Visit, work, and play in Fort Saskatchewan. Now breakaway, the Mavericks unable to connect again. They've had a plethora of opportunities on the fast break in this game. Crude pretty fortunate that they are batting probably a little bit below average on those, as the Crude will get harassed up top. Sika with it. Sika swings it over. Fodchuk behind the back, no look shot. Goes up over top of the net. Fry shoots, and he scores from Red Deer. Low on Swan. It's 4-2. Fry getting his second of the game. And if you're Swan, that's one you definitely want back. But big goal for the Crude as they cut the lead of the Mavericks down to 2. And off the draw, Crude, another pass way too high, intended for Nick Apillo. And that's something that can easily be cut down on, really, for both teams. And a lot of errant passes, a lot of guys sailing passes way over guys' heads or firing it into their shoelaces. And we'll see, whoever cleans that up the best is going to win this game. As Swan stops that, inside look by Sika. Another pass that's going to have to be regathered by Mountain View, and Benko will pick that up. Benko into the offensive zone. Another long, high pass that's going to have to be picked back up by the Mavericks. Now they're going to change, playing some 3-on-4 offense here. They'll just flip that into the corner, and it'll be Crude ball. It'll be Stenson. Crude really need to start moving their feet here too in transition. Pretty easy target to pressure, which the Mavericks will do, knowing who coaches, who's on that bench. Now out in front, Bowie, stopped by Swan. He mixes it up with a couple of defenders after the fact. Now the Mavericks will come up over center. We're gonna call that on the 8-second count. It'll be Crude ball. Vodchuk inside, tried to hit Frey. He was surrounded by 3 Maverick players. Guy was in a swamp of white jerseys, but the Crude are able to cause the turnover and set back up on offense. Nestor, half wall to Vodchuk. Vodchuk, hard pick there by Kerr. The ball's gonna bounce back out over center. It'll be back over, and it'll be Maverick ball. 7:25 to go. The Mountain View Mavericks 4, the St. Albert Crude 2 here from the Jerome McGinley Arena. You're watching CROW LAX TV, Junior B RMLL action. We've got the Crude from the north and the Mavericks from the central in early season action. Crude coming in at 0-1, and the Mavericks playing their season opener. They, of course, come in at 0-0. As the ball is just sort of flipped at the net, flailed wide, and it'll be Crude ball on the shot clock violation. And now Lomiski throws it right to Sutherland, who in turn throws it right into his stick. And here comes the Crude. Wells, opportunity to push, 3-on-2, Wells. Over to Kerr, and he goes 5-hole again, and that's stopped by Swan. Breakaway, and that's knocked away. Good stick there by the Crude defender, Robertson. Now the ball is swung over. Ball is picked up off the end glass and buried. Broken play leads to the Mavericks' 5th goal. It's 5-2. After Benko picks up the loose change and throws it off of Lomiski into the net. The Crude will regather here, and it's Stenson. And here comes Vodchuk. A little bit of a hop step up top to Nestor. Sika is gonna look over to Vodchuk. Vodchuk, sidearm shot off of the leg of Swan. And here comes the Mavericks in transition as Scott is run into the near boards. Ball's gonna go loose. Dzwanka is gonna pick that up. And he gets that over on a bit of a corkscrew pass to Kerr, who gets it quickly down to Fodchuk, who tried to hit Sika running down a lane to the net. Fodchuk is going to have that pass sail over his head. And now another breakaway. Mavericks, that's Clausen, and that's stopped. Oh, and a big hit there by Barkley. And now he's going to be met with some disdain by a couple of Crude players. Looks like Diswenka. Or Smith. Smith did not like that hit. And he tangled up with Barkley. They had a penalty coming up to Barkley. As they're gonna send Barkley to the box. That was the original call. I want to say it was likely boarding that they're going to give him. And Smith responded and wrestled him to the ground. Really not much materialized after that point. But they'll sort this out. It wouldn't shock me if they give Barkley a 5 for boarding and then they give Smith at least 2 for roughing. Well, we'll see what they end up going with here. So usually what you'll see officials do is they'll pull out a notepad, and if there's multiple penalties, and write numbers down, talk to each other, see what each other saw, and then go from there. It looks like they're kicking Barkley out. So Barkley will leave the game. We'll wait for the official call as the referee, Wes Kendall, explains to team captains what the lay of the land is here. And the Mavericks actually sent a player over to serve, but Wes sent him back to the bench. It looks like they're going to go 5-on-5. So I don't really know what they're going with here. The fact that Barkley got kicked out, but they're not short, is interesting to me. They're not announcing penalties or anything in here, so it's tough for me. They haven't even given any signals. I think they just verbally told them in the blocks what they were calling. But it looks like, Barkley for sure is kicked out. The manpower is going to remain even. So I really can't give you too much more insight than that. Generally what you would see is they would be short. At least, generally what you would see is they would get 5 for boarding. They would have given Smith 2 for roughing, and the Crude would have had a 3-minute power play after 3 minutes after 2 minutes of 4-on-4. But I can't really give you too much more insight other than it is 5-on-5 and Barkley's been kicked out. So we'll resume play here with 4:57 to go, second period, and the Mavericks leading by a score of 5-2. It'll be Sutherland up top, and that looks like Benko with it on the left side. He tried to swing that over. It's going to be knocked away, and Here come the Crude in transition. That's Robertson. He has a lane to the net, a little slow to take it, and by then it was too late. And he's going to be checked there by Kloss. And now the Crude will pull it out and get their offense onto the floor. Shot taken there into the midsection. Easily handled there by Swan. Now long breakaway pass. Good pick there by Kerr. Kerr has it up over center. Check there by a Maverick. Now the ball is lost there by Fry, and the Mavericks have an opportunity here. 2-on-1. That is Harnack in, and he's hit there hard. And he's sent flying into the corner, and now a pass is dangerously thrown into the middle of the floor, but it's going to be gathered by Kerr. Kerr out in front, and Wells off the bench wide open, couldn't tuck. And now Kerr ran viciously at a Maverick player, but he just got out of the way, and now in transition, it's sent well wide by Benko. I assume the brother of Riley Benko, Jordy Benko, was the one with that opportunity. And now in transition, the Crude 3-on-1. It's Stenson. Stenson passed it and went right into the stick of Wedman, who wasn't able to pull it in, and the Mavericks will come back up over center. And underneath, and a little bit of a crease dive. He was sent inside. They're going to say he stepped in, and it'll be St. Albert ball, as there's some pushing and shoving after the fact. CROW LAX TV and the RMLL Junior B Tier 1 Division are proud to be supporting the Chris Letendre Wellness Foundation, the Canadian Mental Health Association, to implement their Talk Today program. In 2020, a beloved player of the game to many in the North Division, Chris Letendre, passed away by suicide at the age of 25 while battling mental health issues. The Chris Letendre Wellness Foundation was formed in 2021 to preserve his memory and call the lacrosse community to action in support of mental health in the game of lacrosse and beyond. Donations can be made to edmonton.cmha.ca/talk-today-CLWF. You can also visit our social media channels for a direct link at CROW LAX TV or Instagram and X. And we all miss Chris. He was one of a very, very special group of people you always saw at the arena, and the lacrosse community, truly does miss his presence in and out of the arena. As the Mavericks will bring the ball up over center. It's held on to, and now he's didn't really move his feet. It's going to be lost. The ball will eventually, the Crude don't end up picking it up, and the Mavericks will pick it up anyway. Ball will be battled for, and now the Crude will, now the Crude will pick it up with 2 minutes to go here, second period. Mavericks 5, Crude 2. Shots 38 for the Crude, 27 for the Mavericks. Sika up top. And a no look. And that was, it looked like Wells out of the corner. Buried that in the open short side. It's 5-3. That even had me. The no look leads to a goal, and it's 5-3 Olds. Now off the draw, Snickapillo, the rookie out of Sherwood Park, comes into the offensive zone. And he's going to get that over to the right side. It's swung back over to Robertson. Robertson tried to go underneath his defender, lost it. He'll pick it back up. Robertson swings it That shot's taken from well out. And it's stopped. Sika back up top. Wells mishandles that, gathers it back over to, that looked like Pickering, who plays a rare offensive shift and goes far side on Swan. It's 5-4. And so the Mavericks, who have enjoyed a 2 to 3 goal lead for most of this contest, it's now been cut down to 1 with 124 down, or 124 to go in the second period. And off the draw, it's tied up for a second, and now it's grabbed by Sika. And Nicapillo will throw it into the middle of the floor. Swim move, Fry out in front. He's chased around the net, unable to gather a solid angle to shoot the ball. And big winding shot sailed up over top of the net by Fry, and here come the Mavericks in transition. That's Harnack again. He's had a few looks, unable to get the shot away, and that'll be Crude ball. Stenson. And now there's some commotion at the Crude bench as a Maverick player ran over to make contact with somebody inside the bench. I don't really know what's going on here, but there's got to be penalties coming. Something happened behind the play initially, and then a Maverick player ran to the front gate of the Crude bench to shove somebody.
Come on, Wes, get it together.
There's a Maverick player that's already jumped in the box here. Crude player as well. These are the times where you really wish there was in-house announcing. So the only thing that I caught was after the fact, a Maverick player sort of ran at the front gate of the Crude to shove somebody that was standing inside the change box, but they were actually inside the bench, which is going to be a penalty, and as long as they saw that, which they had to have. There was a guy standing right there, but there was something that preceded that. I think it was guys kind of going at it and pushing and shoving behind the play, sort of in the change box area. And when you make like if you hit a guy inside the change box, it's always like you get ejected, like it's an automatic. As long as the contact warrants, like if it's a shove or whatever, you might get like an interference call, but if you actually like cross-check a guy in the change box, you'll get ejected. I don't know if that's what happened here, but there was something that happened behind the play. But this is also where the fans need to take a back seat, let the refs call what they saw and move on. Especially when they don't even know what the actual calls are yet. So, official Wes Kendo is signaling to the bench 4-on-4. 2 minutes on each side of the score clock go up. So I can only assume they assess 2 minutes each for roughing. They did not signal the box from what I saw for the official call. So off the draw, 5-4, Olds lead. As Regan Walker is belted. And they're gonna get a call here. As the Crude will now enjoy a 4-on-3 power play. The Maverick player did take a healthy run at Walker. And West called it a slash. That surprises me a little bit, but nevertheless, it was a good call. I thought he was going to call a charge. 30 seconds to go in the second period. And it'll be Sika up top with Kerr. And looks like Fry and Nestor down at the crease. Shot taken, loose ball gathered back up. Kerr. Skip pass down low, back up high. And that's Sika with a sub shot low. Short side, it's 5-5. So the Beaumont acquisition pays dividends there, and for the first time in a long time, the Crude are back even. Nine seconds to go here, second period. It looks like we're going to go into the third even here. They're now going to go back to 4-on-4 here with that goal coming on the 4-on-3 man advantage. I don't know what the delay. Oh, they're erasing penalties off the clock. And now the ball is going to be fought for off the draw. It's going to go back into the Crude zone. And now a real delay on the timeout. Oh, no. And then it's granted with 0.4 seconds on the clock, which equates to a useless timeout. Well, I don't know what the heck happened there. Then they blew it back in with the Crude in possession. So that'll do it for the second period of play with the score. The St. Albert Crude 5 and the Mountain View Mavericks 5. You're watching Junior B RMLL Tier 1 action on CROW LAX TV. We want to thank you, and we'll see you in just under 10 minutes' time. Yeah, last year, the first one or two games was brutal, and then it gradually just gets better.
3-0, 1-9-1-8. 3-8-0, 1-9-1-8. Alvista, 4 years running.
Not even fucking close. It's the last time I supported them.
Our Crude cast, $300 winner, Lynette Dawson, and a $30 winner is Helen Camilleri.
I don't think the floor is the issue. Do you?
No, I think there's obviously a couple slippy spots going on.
Yeah. Welcome back to St. Albert here at the Jerome McGinley Arena. We enter the third period of play at a deadlock. It's the Crude 5, the Mavericks 5. And the manpower should be even here. We'll start this period 4-on-4. Big period here coming up for the Crude as they look to avoid falling to 0-2. The Mavericks look to start the year 1-0. Actually, Olds is actually, even though the clock says it's 4-on-4, they're 5-on-4. Now there are too many men. Yeah, so they did have too many men. So the Mavericks, thinking that they were on the power play, sent out an extra player. It was indeed 4-on-4, and they'll serve for too many men. So now the Crude will go up 4-on-3. So it'll be Sika on the right side with Wells, and on the left side it'll be Kerr and Nestor. Fodchuk not on the floor. Looks like he may have left this game. As the ball's brought up by Amundsen. And the Mavericks will possess. Ball is knocked down by a Crude defender. That's Stenson who will roll across center. And here's Stenson in on a break. Stenson, and he bounces that wide. Ball is going to be grabbed by the Crude, and they'll set back up on the power play. 4-on-3, 20 seconds left on it as Pickering tried to go far side, and that's fought off by Swan. As the Crude will come back into the zone. A little bit of a fake pass, and Pickering can walk right out in front, and he sends that wide. Sika as a man coming out of the box, completely unaware, and that ball, fortunately for the Crude, goes right back to them, and then a cross-crease pass, and that's stopped by Swan, and now Nestor will knock down a pass and create another turnover, and the Crude will have 30 seconds to work with a 5-on-4 this time. 18:15 to go, third period. 5-5 here from St. Albert. Sika winds and fires. That's stopped. And now we have a delayed penalty call coming up to the Mavericks for a slash behind the play. So now some undisciplined play from the Mavericks beginning to become an issue. We've seen extended 5-on-3s here in this game for both teams. And I don't think either one has capitalized yet. Here's Fry off of the right crease. Sika, Fry fakes, and he tried to tuck that short side after a fake to the far side, and it got handled by Swan. Ball's picked up by the Mavs. And a yard sale there on Admonson. And that'll be picked up by the Crude. Wedman, the veteran out of Beaumont, gets it over to Sika, and the Crude power play yet again will go back to work. Sika up top. Fodchuk clearly out of the game now as this has been continued power play action without him hitting the floor. Here's Swan. Swan, breakaway pass. That's gathered in, and that's stopped. Ball goes loose into the corner. That was Harnack. That was denied. At least 4 breakaways here by Harnack here in this game. Unable to bury as of yet. Sika. Right shooter Sika. It went from Kerr to Wells. That got turned away. As Bowie in the middle trying to set some seals. Another seal here, and that's sent wide. Bowie doing more work on, or that was actually Robertson who was setting those seals inside, but to no avail, and now the Mavericks will come up back into the offensive zone as they've almost killed this penalty. 5 seconds remain on it, and we still sit 5-5 here with 16 minutes to go. Third period. Ball up top. That gets knocked down by a stick. And that is sent into a Crude defender's midsection. It'll be a shot clock violation, and it'll be Crude ball. Ball up on the right shooter, Sika. Swung over to Robertson. Sika shoots that through traffic, and that gets a piece of the midsection of Swan. Now the ball's going to be fought for, picked back up by Robertson. Robertson misses the net. Ball bounces out to center, it'll be over and back, it'll be Maverick ball. The city of Fort Saskatchewan. Explore Fort Saskatchewan. Discover a place where family fun meets opportunity. Visit their historic downtown, scenic parks, and river valley. Work in a thriving community. Play where every moment is memorable. Visit, work, and play in Fort Saskatchewan. Ball is going to be possessed by the Crew to just chuck it down the floor. Now it's going to be picked back up by the Mavericks, and they're going to say interference as the player looks like Sutherland was sent to the floor, and they'll have a fresh 30 to work with here. Ball up top. Swung back over to the right side. That was Amundsen, wound and fired wide, and it'll be Crude ball as it hits the ceiling. Vimy Ridge at Vimy Ridge Academy, excellence is the standard. As the Crude execute pretty quickly there. Looked like Nick Apillo in transition, and they take their first lead of the game, 6-5. With 14:01 to go here, third period, Crude enjoy their first lead of the game. At Vimy Lacrosse, excellence is the standard, led by some of the province's most decorated and experienced instructors. They are dedicated to molding well-rounded student athletes. Vimy Lacrosse is the fusion of sport, academics, and personal growth. Unleash your potential with Vimy Lacrosse. Now off the draw. They're going to battle for it. The Crude outnumber the Mavericks there, and will turn it back over. Fry. He's going to have a double come. He spins out of it before it really could arrive, and the Crude will set up their offense. Fry swings it over. Ball goes down low to Nestor, back up top. Now they get some ball movement going, and then the ball is just sailed into the crest of the Maverick goaltender, Swan. Probably the Crude's best offensive possession to date. The shot just wasn't what it needed to be. So the ball will come back down into the Crude zone. Mavericks possess. 13:13 to go, third period. Crude 6, Mavericks 5. Ball is flailed at the net violently and pretty wildly, and that goes well wide, hits the ceiling, and it'll be Crude ball. Now the ball is swung back over. It's going to go into the boards, picked back up. Backdoor, and that was Nestor who set up shop in behind the Maverick defense. They lost him. Nobody had him, and good stop there by Swan on the near post. Here's Sika underneath. Sika drives to the net, and that's stopped by Swan. Ball will go loose. Picked up by the rookie Bowie. You know, Bowie winning the Midget A Provincials or U16 Provincials last year. The Warriors organization. Wells as well. Couple of high-end draft picks for the Crude. The ball will be thrown up floor. The Mavericks in transition, and that stopped. That was Benko sending a sidearm shot in, and here come the Crude in transition. Here comes Fry. Fry got it handed over to Pickering, who got it to Wells, now with Robertson. Robertson tried to play a little bit of a two-man game with Kerr, and the pass wasn't there. Ball will go loose, and now the ball will come back to Kerr, who tried to grab it with his hand, and that wouldn't have worked anyway, and the Mavericks will pick it up. Mavericks having a little bit of difficulty getting shots on net here in the second half of the game, as the shot count reads 56-30 now for the Crude. As the ball gets sent up to Smith, he's gonna get met with pressure here. Here's Smith. He goes to the net, and that stopped as he took the shot off the wrong side of the floor.
Keep working, Luke.
Here's Sika. Pick set there by Bowie. Ball swung over to the left side of the floor. That was Nestor. Ball comes back up. Pops up and gets lost by the Mavericks. Turns over to Nestor, who got a shot away, and now Kerr will battle for the loose ball. Oh, and a wicked slash on the leg of the Maverick player. It's got to be a 5-minute penalty. They only call it a 2-minute penalty. So the Mavericks will go to the man advantage. So the Crude, fortunate that's not a 5. They'll go to the man short here and have to kill it off with about 10 minutes to go. Oh, and the ball smokes the official. I think it got mostly helmet. A pass got through the stick of a Maverick player and hit official Pierre Ouimet, and looks like he's all right, thankfully. So 9:58 to go. It'll be Crude ball here on the shot clock expiration. No look to kill here. Robertson. Sort of delays with the ball, lets the double come. The double's slow to show up. Now it does come, and he's going to lose the ball into the Maverick bench, and it'll be Maverick ball. Crude got to move their feet if they want to have success here. It's the Maverick power play. Will go back to work. 1 minute to go here on the man advantage. 9 minutes to go in the game. They trail 6-5. As that shot's taken off a leg, it's gathered back. Now the pass is sent into the boards, well wide of its target, and it'll be Crude ball. As the Crude come up over center. Here's Wells. Wells goes around his defender. There is that one spot on the floor right in front of the camera here that looks pretty slippery. Other than that, though, the floor, I mean, there was somebody asking about the floor in the comments. It's really this one floor right here. This one area of the floor right here, you just saw a Maverick defender fall again. They're gonna have to do something about that. It's about, I don't know, like a 12-foot stretch right in front of the boards here. As Robertson will control off of the left half wall. He just tries to go through two defenders. That's not gonna work, and he'll lose it, and the Mavericks will gain possession. Here come the Mavericks up into the offensive zone. That's Kloss. Kloss, pick and roll, and there were two defenders standing inside there who were able to knock Paint Shot away. Paint Shot. Swings it back over, a long outside shot's taken and handled there by Crude goaltender Lemiski. Breakaway pass, here's Fry looking for the Hattie, and that's stopped by Swan as that was burnt into the crest of the Maverick goaltender. Here's Wedman. Wedman deals with a couple of defenders. He gets it back out to safety with Fry. 7:30 to go, third period. Crude leading the visiting Mavericks by a score of 6-5. Shot taken, stopped as Swan will grab and look to outlet. Ball will go loose near the Maverick bench. And that's just going to be chucked away as, well, now it's going to be grabbed by the Maverick player as it looked like just like a prayer down the floor. But they do gain possession here. Sigfusson is going to have 5 seconds to deal with here. And that's just going to be sent into the wooden back panels of the arena, and it'll be Crude ball. 6:46 to go, third period. Crude 6, Mavericks 5, here from the Jerome McGinley Arena. And we want to thank you for joining us here on CROW LAX TV. Over and back here, now the Mavericks have a chance to go back on offense. Ball is thrown down into the near corner. Ball swung down low. Two-man game, while the pick doesn't end up coming. Ball is swung back over to the lefties, and that shot is taken right into the stick of Pickering. Pickering is going to try to bull over his defender and then tried to push the ball at the net. That's not going to work, and it'll be Maverick ball. 6 minutes to go. Still a 6-5 game here. Crude leading here at home, trying to avoid a 0-2 start. They, of course, lost to the Beaumont Outlaws last night, 12-8. And it was the Brett Murray and Carter Grace show. As both the guys, as a nice move underneath. By May, who got underneath his defender and slid it past Lemiski, and on their 32-second shot of the game, they even it up 6-6 with 5:40 to go. And as I was saying, the Crew dropping their home opener last night to the Outlaws, 12-8. Really good effort by the young Outlaws as Brett Murray had, I think, his best game since Bantam. Kid was on fire. And Carter Grace also potting a handful of goals as Pierre Ouimet took a rough tumble there to the ground, having a rough go here. I hope he's okay. As the ball pops up to the Crude. Ball is going to go loose, and the Mavericks are going to pick it back up. Ball gets tossed down the floor just hopelessly, and the Crude are going to pick this back up. As we go underneath 5 minutes, tie game, 6-6. Fry, pair of goals in this game, gets it to Sika. Ball just gets thrown to the Mavericks, and they're going to go out in transition here. And I don't know what the hell that was. I don't know what's going on here, but The ball gets sent in on a sub shot, and that's stopped by Lemiski. Ball half wall, right side. Swung back over. Paint shot. Tried to hit a cutter back door there, and that goes off glass, and now the Crude are going to look to head out in transition. 2-on-1. That's Reich out in front. Stenson tried to throw that over top of Swan. Pretty difficult to do on the large netminder, and it'll be Maverick ball as we remain deadlocked here, 6-6, 3:45 to go. Sutherland winds and fires. Stopped there by Lemiski. Loose ball back to the Mavericks. Stutter step. Swing. Wrong side of the floor. And the Olds is playing with some guys on the wrong side of the floor here. Or the Mavericks. Backdoor, and that's going to be lost and picked back up by Smith. Smith trains up over center. And the Crude will come back out onto offense. Swim move, pick set. Sika is going to roll back with it. Gets it to Fry, and he gets it back. Sika gets it back from Robertson, and he'll shoot that low. That's stopped by Swan. 2:45 to go, third period. Crude 6, Mavericks 6. Here on CROW LAX TV as we head down the home stretch as overtime looms. Sutherland is going to survey here. He's going to roll one in on Lemiski. Gets his own rebound, and that's stopped by Lemiski. Sutherland almost with a pass to himself there. And the whole middle of the floor was wide open. No, there's absolutely nobody there. Now in front, Sutherland hit a cutter, and that hit a body out in front before it got to Lemiski, and now the Crude are going to come up over center, and they're going to turn that over into the Maverick bench. As the Mavericks get direction to slow it down here. Sigfusson swings it. Sutherland, and that's stopped. Here come the Crude. Wedman up over center. Sika. And a running shot is taken off his back foot there by Wells. It goes up off a body and looked like it hit goalie because they get the reset, and it'll be Crude ball or with a fresh 30. Sika goes underneath his defender, driving, and he steps inside the cylinder, and it'll be Maverick ball. 55 seconds to go, 6-6. A little bit of a press there by Nestor, and the ball is going to, well, it looked like it was going to turn over. Yeah, it was back over, yeah. So it'll be Maverick ball. That, of course, a new rule this year. Even at even strength, anything that goes back over the rag line is back over. It used to be just when you were shorthanded, but now at all strengths. And the referee's obviously still getting used to that. And that is something those things are hard to remember when you're in the middle of a game, because you go so long having the rules a certain way, it's ingrained, like it's almost automatic. And so it takes a little while for those things to become second nature. So with 45 seconds left, we sit here 6-6. And the game literally hanging in the balance. It's anybody's. Whoever grabs, it's there for anybody to grab here. So, up top with it are the Mavericks. Ball gets over to Sutherland. He waits for the pick. That nice pick and roll there, and that was Bauming that got inside there. It looked like it hit a body. So 30 and a half seconds now. The Crude will have possession. They'll call a timeout. And really, you can hold pretty much here for last possession. Do they have the, I want to say, balls to pull their goaltender? It really comes down to if they trust their players to hold on to the ball and start up right at the, at the right time. Looks like they do. It looks like they will go 6-on-5 here. So in this situation, you're going to see them hold the ball probably till about 8 seconds and then run whatever look they're going to run. Sika will bring it up and start with it up top here. You won't see motion, I would think, till about 8 seconds. They started now at about 12. Fry is trying to set a seal, but the ball's going to go loose here, and the clock's going to wind down. And with that, we're going to head to overtime here. Yeah. So we're going to head to overtime here, 6-6. Play a sudden death overtime, 10 minutes. It looks like the referees are confirming with each other, unless it's changed. So we conclude regulation with the final shot count. The St. Albert Crude at 65 and the Mountain View Mavericks coming in at 38. We'll have a little quick break here, a minute and a half, and we'll be right back with overtime.